What's going on, everyone? It's a bold one here, and this is the first video after being back that is not a live stream. So I'm super excited about this, and I think this video really needs to be made because the question that's on everybody's mind is, who am I going to use this first Relic 10 material for that I'm getting for free? And I got a list of characters that we're going to go through, some different considerations based on different factors, but especially keeping in mind the new bane of our existence, Relic Delta. So if you hop on over here with me, we're just gonna jump straight into this. So this is gonna look really weird in the transition because I literally recorded this entire video and forgot to adjust my audio settings, so nothing actually even came through on this. So we get to redo it, but that's okay because I already know what I said and I basically just have to repeat what I said. So anyways, all right, so I have these in different categories about what you should consider spending your free Relic 10 material on. So the first section is going to be what I call the best stats boost. So on paper, when looking at the math, these four characters get the best boost in terms of their health and protection. And that's very important, especially if you're a numbers guy, like, okay, I'm putting in X amount of material and this is what I'm getting out on paper. And so, you know, if that's you, then this is probably one of your best options. Most people will have these three characters, so they're gonna have Leia, Luke, and Jabba. Those are most likely the first three Galactic Legends that most people will get. And so I think these are safe options in terms of math. You know, and the thing about this category of characters, which will help us segue into the next category, is that these characters really boost their team, right? So they're the tanks, or they're the kind of the stat booster, and they're helping their teammates around them, their team compositions really flourish, right? So Leia, you get like Rex, R2, and Captain Drogon, and they really just do so much better under her. With Luke, you have Jedi Knight Luke, Cal Kestis, Hoda, obviously the Spectre team, or with Ezra. And then lastly, Bausch, Leia, and Chrysanthemum both get a lot of stat boost, and with Jabba. But when we look at them by themselves, when it comes down to the end, they're not really, maybe Leia, and maybe Ahsoka, she's an alt, aren't really going to be the ones to steal the show or maybe close the gap. Unlike our next two options, and what I call these the best solo characters. So they're not really helping the team out, but they are the main hitters in their team. So like, for instance, Lord Vader, he's applying, once he starts hitting those ults, he's stacking on the damage over times that can't be cleansed. And if the more survivability he has, right, he gets a stat boost, but it's not anything like the ones on the top. He's really the one that's closing the game, crunching, making the other team have to hurry in order to possibly win. And then Supreme Leader Kylo Ren, man, when he starts getting going in his ult, he's really just knocking out people left and right, especially with the new Omicron in from TIE Fighter Pilot, which might be something to consider, is it just makes them that much more better. Next, I put these as considerations. They're Galactic Legends, a lot of people will have these. They don't get really good stat boosts in terms of like on paper, and they're good. They're great teams. I think Rey's the best option out of these. If like you were to say, okay, well, if I don't want to get cheesed by Darth Bane or whatever, I'll just put Rey to Relic 10, and then everybody's going to struggle to fight to kill her, right? Because there's the damage reduction, and then she's hitting harder on her whirlwind ability. So these are just some other characters to consider. I put this next to last section as safe bets. These are characters that maybe Malik more people will have, because even if you're like mid, kind of late game, you're going to be going for a Leviathan if you really want to excel in GAC. And so you'll have him already at Relic 9, and he actually gets really good stat boost. So like when you go here and you look at his health and protection, like he almost gets a 10,000 boost on his stuff. And so maybe that's something he's gonna, or Bane. That way he's dealing the full amount of potential damage against his enemies in GAC, and plus he's getting all those stat boosts anyway from his ability. So these two guys I think are good options. Yeah, and there's there's plenty of other characters that maybe you should consider, but I think just off of what I have been thinking about, the math, what your most bang for your buck. Like, I don't think Admiral Radis is going to do you a lot. You'd have him or Darth Revan. He's also going to be Relic 9, but once again, I don't think you're getting a lot out of him. And so, those would be some characters that people would have early on. Going to my last choice. So this is actually going to be most likely my choice. I'm actually hanging on to my materials for right now because I want to see. We're in a weird state with this game right now, and so I'm kind of lingering about what I want to use my materials on, especially the free, because it's going to be hard to come by this. But this last character, I'm not picking him for the stat boost. I'm not picking him because it's great theory crafting, anything like that. It is purely for the fact that this character right here, the Stranger Khmer, is a brand new character. He's got all these GAC Omicrons, and anytime we ever get a new character in the game, especially conquest characters, it takes a long time to figure out how do you fight these characters and what are good counters, because we'll see Khmer in other game modes, but where it really shines is going to be GAC, and we don't have GAC running 24/7. So the theory crafting part is kind of hard because you can only theory craft in those, small sections. And so I think, in theory, if you have this guy at Relic 10 and you get everybody Relic 7 that's around him, or maybe Relic 8, depending on where you're at, and I guess you could push him to 10, but it's not like we're really getting a lot of materials available. I think people were really going to struggle with him until they find a counter later on. And so I think if you're really wanting to just get on people's nerves, really make people struggle in the early GACs and really get that advantage, I would say day one, throw some Relic 10 on this guy with that Relic Delta boost as well. And especially if he's Relic 10, nobody will have any advantage over him. I think he's a safe bet, or not a safe bet. I think he's a great bet. That's who I'm going to use mine for. I'll have some gameplay once. I'll have him day one, and we'll do lots of good game footage. Obviously, I'll have him on defense, so it might be kind of hard, but I will see if maybe my opponents will record their games, and maybe they can provide me some materials, and maybe I will see Khmer as well on the other sides, and then we can do some theory crafting together. So anyways, all right guys, well, that is the conclusion of the video. Thank you so much for coming by. Be sure to like and subscribe, and hit that bell if you want to follow and see more content on my channel. Once again, I'm super excited to be back. It's a lot of fun, especially with the new equipment. I'm hoping it maybe gives some flair to the channel. So anyways, guys, it's good to be back. We'll see you on the next one.